Dudes can cry. It's all right. I'll cry. I'll cry about some bullshit. Like pissing away an hour and a half. Sorry? Okay, let's get back to work.
What's up? This is Casey from Caseyscustoms. In this series, I'm building a hot rod for under $3,500. In this video, we finish up everything we have to do under the hood, and we also finish up the exhaust dump that we have coming off of our turbo and cut a hole in the fender. Let's get going.
We are back on the 1951 Chevy $3,500 budget build, and in this episode we are going to do a bunch of sheet metal work. There's still some stuff that needs done. My fenders, for one, are kind of just hanging out. They're just kind of being floppy, so I want to get the bottom mounts of those made. I also want to go ahead and run my, let me see if I can get you in there. I want to go ahead and run my cutout exhaust to the edge of this fender. I want to get that taken care of. And then, when we get all that done, I want to start on this rear floor. I still think it's probably going to be another week or 2 weeks before I get the drive shaft. So I'm trying to do all that kind of stuff because what I would like to do when the drive shaft gets here, I want to just be able to throw it in and maybe take it for a spin around the block. So, can't have floppy fenders. I want to run the exhaust cut out so I can hear what it sounds like. I also kind of want to, I have all the exhaust tubing I need to finish it, so I should go ahead and just do it, get the cut out and everything made. Let's go ahead and get these fenders mounted the rest of the way, and we'll start on the exhaust. Let's go. Okay, I got my fender tacked in place, so where I know it's not going anywhere on me, the fit will be perfect. I got a bolt welded on the cab part, and then what we need now is to make a bracket to attach the fender to the cab. All we gotta do here is get Pinky, the most powerful drill in the world. We just gotta get her out, which is always kind of scary. Anybody new to my channel that doesn't know Pinky, this is a highly, highly classified, it's the strongest drill in the world. If you get a full charge on it, you hit the power a little too quick, you can actually reverse the rotation of the earth, so you got to really be careful with this thing. Some guys are trying to buy them and they can't. They're saying that they're being on, you know, FBI watch lists and all kinds of stuff like that. I don't know if that's true. I think some of that's kind of trolly, kind of fun. But anyways, let's go ahead and get it started here. Hold on one second.
FBI, open up!
Okay. The FBI comments that people made on YouTube were not trolling. They apparently will show up at your door before you use the Pinky. That's new to me. That hasn't happened yet. They said I can use this from 10:45 to 11, so I need to get everything drilled now that I can. Apparently they need to be on the property while you use it now. I don't know, man. The government really has a lot of overreach these days, but I guess I'm okay with that because it is the most powerful drill in the world. So let's get these knocked out real quick. Whew. Easy, easy. Easy, girl, easy. I mean, that's with a dead battery and I'm on the one setting. I mean, it's not a game, people. Oh yeah, baby. Okay, so that's annoying. So, fenders are done. They are mounted. It is time to tackle the exhaust cutout. This is my V-band that comes off of the cutout, and we need to make some sort of something work with all of this. I got a couple extra exhaust pieces. I found those. This is the original exhaust one I cut off. I don't know if I'm going to use it or not. I might end up using this, or I might end up doing some crazy thing like that. I don't know. Basically, we're gonna cut some shit and hopefully make it not ugly. So let's go. I had this looking absolutely perfect. It was like flowing real good. I had a couple of these smooth bends just going into another one. It looked great. and I threw the tire on, and it wasn't even close to working. It was hitting the tire, like barely turning. So, hour and a half down the drain, cut it off, kind of restarted it. I got a real ugly bend in it now, but it looks like it's clearing my tire. So yeah, that sucks. Welcome to building cars. Good times, but I think I got an idea on it now. I've got to cut a couple pieces, tack them in place. I need to cut a mount, the original fender mount that we're not using anymore. It's hitting my pipe now. I need to cut that out of the way, and I think we got an idea on how it's gonna go. So I just needed to take a break for a second and whine a little bit to the camera, so that's what I'm doing. So yeah. Sometimes the time lapse, it's really good that it's a time lapse because you would hear me cussing and screaming, and sometimes I cry. I mean, you dudes can cry. It's all right. I'll cry. I'll cry about some bullshit, like pissing away an hour and a half. Sorry. Okay, let's get back to work.
Just picked up some bands, come again. I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do. I'm like Simon Says. They do what I do. I'm like Simon Says.
All right, let me show you what we're working with here. You keep interrupting me, bro, and I'm over it. So, oh, I forgot I had a light on this. I dropped like $1,000 on new cameras, new lights and stuff, so bear with me, you know, kind of. I think the first video we had, it was last video, about halfway through. You might be able to tell. Quality is definitely a lot higher, but just like when you get a new phone or anything, you just got to relearn kind of everything you do, so that's what I'm doing. So I apologize. But back to car shit, which I do know. Got this kind of exactly where I want, and I think my exhaust tip is going to come out right here. Now the right way to do this is to have a, you know, 4-inch hole saw and cut it. I don't have a 4-inch hole saw. This is a rat rod. Also, this actually needs to be bigger, so I'm going to go ahead, cut it with a grinder, and then I'll probably end up coming in here with a like a burr bit and kind of smoothing everything out, because you can really butcher up a circle when you're trying to cut it with a cutoff wheel. But I think that's going to be the best way, and yeah, because I don't know, it's 1 a.m. and I'm not going to the store to get a hole saw, and I want to get this done tonight because I'm kind of in a groove right now. So, let's cut some shit, baby! Check this out. Look how good we are, baby. Full clearance. Oh yeah. It's out. What's cool, I don't even have anything welded right now. I just have it. My snug fitments are so tight. You can tell. My only weld is at the V-band. I don't want it hidden by any means. I want it to stick out, but what I do want it to do, I want it to flow with the fender real well. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and tack weld all my joints because I know where they are and everything's good. And then what I'll do is take a marker like this and run it along the fender. And now what we have here is the exact cutout of the shape of the fender. So cool thing about stainless is you can just grind it, and wherever you grind it is where the new joint is. It's not like just a regular steel exhaust where maybe it has a coating on it, you grind it off and now it's gonna rust. This is all stainless, it's not gonna rust. So I'm gonna go ahead, pop the wheel off, tack weld everything. I'm gonna call it a night. It's way too late. It's like 1 something, I think. Oh, actually, hold on. It's 12:50, I'm lying. But either way, my ass is tired. I worked 8 hours down at my shop, so sweet. I'm definitely gonna tack it because the fact that it has no welds on it and it's sitting exactly where I want it is impressive, but it also scares me because I feel like I'm gonna knock something over and everything's gonna fall away. So pop the wheel off, tack it, and we will be back on this bitch tomorrow. So yeah, sweet. I'm tired and I need to go to bed now because I'm talking way too much.
The next day.
Check it out. Got the Wastegate today. Super happy about that. I thought I was gonna have to wait on it. Anybody that's been ordering car parts, you know, throughout the pandemic knows sometimes stuff takes 3 months or, you know, sometimes it takes, you know, a week, which is great. Absolutely love it. Looks bitchin'. It's subtle, but it's not subtle at the same time. Got everything wrapped up in there real nice. I'll end up
I'll put exhaust wrap on it so it doesn't have so much heat on the floor. I'll end up actually exhaust wrapping most of the exhaust, at least to the firewall or so. But very happy. Started on the wastegate. Naturally, I don't have enough room to put it on right, so I gotta make some shit. I basically have to make some bolts that I can slide over, and then I can tighten the threads on the bolts. It's either make a couple bolts work, or literally take the whole exhaust off the side, mount it in there, and then try and put it all up in there on the exhaust already, which is gonna be its own problem. So it's gonna take an extra hour and a half of work. It should just be a bolt on, but that's never, you know.
We never get that lucky.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. It's hard to sew anything up under there, so we're gonna be rocking the old time lapse for most of it, but if something pops up, I will let you know.
That ended up taking almost 2 hours. Had to make a bolt, broke a bolt in the exhaust. Had to pull that out, that was a thing. And then I had a normal bolt on one side and an Allen bolt on the other side. The problem with the Allen bolt is the way everything is in there, I had to make a tool. It is the right Allen size, welded to a tiny little 1/4 inch wrench. I could just get in there, couldn't get a socket in there, couldn't get anything. I could just get it in there and go about this many at a time. You can see cut, 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 cut. A couple cuts here when I was trying on my left hand, but it's actually in there. So, I mean, I guess that's good. I don't know. Wastegate is in. I am never taking that off again. I don't give a shit. It ain't coming out again. I know that. So we have everything we need now. The only thing I need, I think, to complete everything under the hood is my radiator coolant tank. I was gonna try and run the stock one, but I don't know if I'm going to. I might just get like a coolant reservoir and kind of just mount it over there somewhere. It doesn't really have to be the exact one I had. So I could definitely get like a boxy one. The stock one isn't bad, but either way, we need to do that, and then we need to run the oil lines to the turbo, and this is basically done under the hood. We shouldn't have to mess with anything else under here. I obviously have fuel lines and brake lines and stuff like that need work, but under the hood we should be done. So if my oil line parts come, we will do that tomorrow and maybe just button all this stuff up. If I'm still waiting on them, we'll probably start on the rear floor, but I won't know until, you know, that stuff comes in. So I am going to bed, I'm tired, and I'm gonna go put some peroxide over all these. I can't believe I had to make a damn wrench or make a tool. All right, good night. Good news, I got the part I was waiting for. This is a funky little fitting that goes into a standard thread. Oh wow, I was pointing at the wrong camera. I have 2 cameras set up, my bad. Finally got this. This is car building in 2021. Sometimes you have to wait 2 weeks for a fitting. Normally you could get this at the parts store or Fastenal. They're out of almost everything. Everybody's running out of parts, so you have to order it from Amazon. Normally Amazon takes 3 days, took 2 weeks. Anybody that's building stuff, well really anybody that's ordering stuff knows this is going on a lot of places. Not fun. The good news is, I got this part and I got another part. I should have everything I need to get the oil lines ran to my turbo. The pressure side and the dump side, which is a low pressure side. So, we're gonna tackle that now. Okay, so I got the oil pressure on the turbocharger. I got the pressurized side done. The drain side, which should usually be the easier side, this whole time, the bolt I thought it was gonna go into was actually a coolant bolt. It wasn't a oil plug bolt. I had them kind of mixed up there. So I got online to see what guys usually do. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can run an oil pump and actually just, you know, put your line wherever you want it because it doesn't have to be gravity fed. And you can just pump the oil back into the valve cover. A lot of guys like that. The oil pumps are like $100 though. Being a budget build, I really don't want to do that. Also, it's just another thing you have to wire up and worry about. The only other way the guys do them is drill a hole in your oil pan, thread it and tap it, and then your oil line can just go straight to your oil pan, so when it drains it just goes back into the oil pan. I think that's probably the best route to do. The only problem is it's gonna be hard anywhere. This is a 4-wheel drive, so it's just so compacted under there, but I still think that's what I want to do. I don't want to have to worry about an oil pump running and then have it you know, have it not go out, or have it go out and then you not know it, and then you blow up your turbo because it's not getting oil. So I'd rather just have it, you know, I'd really just have it all drain the way it's supposed to. But I really don't want to drill a hole in the oil pan. I think it's aluminum, which should be a little bit easier, but it's still going to be a pain in the ass. For like 30 minutes, I've just been looking all over the motor to see if there's somewhere else I can do it, but that's really just the best way to do it. Yeah, so I'm going to keep thinking about that because I don't know what to do. I've been kind of like hemming and hawing around. It's time to just do it. I'm drilling a hole in the oil pan. Everything's gonna be fine. My butthole is super tight right now. I mean, watertight. So many things can go wrong. We're not gonna think about that. Why are we talking about it? You can't see a goddamn thing under there, so just take my word for it. I'm gonna drill it out. And then we gotta do some aluminum welding, and I don't have an aluminum welder, so I'm gonna kind of show you these weird little rods that are kind of cool. I'm so nervous, I'm rambling. All right, let's do it. Okay, great news. The drilling and the tapping of the oil pan actually went very smoothly. Worked out a lot better than I thought. It's kind of like thick aluminum. So it really, not only does it drill easy, but it takes a tap real easy. And then my NPT fitting, you know, it's like a wedge fitting. So as you tighten it in, it swells. Seems really good. I was spraying some like WD-40 on it. It looks like it's completely airtight. Super happy about that. I was really struggling about that because it's not in a great spot, but I still pulled it off. Very happy I got it done. What we have to do now is I need to change one of the mounts on the bottom turbo. This is the drain side of the turbo. It's not a pressurized side. It just needs to drain back. It's pumping oil and then it drains oil. So I need to do some aluminum welding. I don't have an aluminum welder, but I do have these things called Blue Demon triple braze rods. They're also called easy welding rods. They're also called aluminum welding rods. They kind of have a bunch of different names. Blue Demons have the best ones I've ever seen. I like them. What you do is basically you take two pieces of aluminum, you just get them up to a certain temperature, and then you can actually just rub this rod down it, just like a solder. Some people call it soldering. I always say welding just because they've branded it that way. It technically is a solder. I did a review on this stuff a couple years ago where I welded two pieces of aluminum together, used this, and then I beat it with a hammer, and the aluminum actually broke before the weld did. So it's super strong stuff. I'm very impressed with it. I have my two pieces of aluminum cut. I'm gonna go ahead and go in here. I'm gonna get it up to temperature, and we'll weld it with this, and I'll show you how to do it. Super easy, by the way. My big torch isn't working right now, so we gotta do this the old school way. It's not nearly as fast as I'd like, but the good news is, once the aluminum is up to temperature, it's really easy. You just have to brush it on, basically. But it might take a while to get up to temperature because I have this little pissy torch. The only bad thing with this stuff is whenever you're using it, it turns basically into a liquid. So, like these joints on the side, I'll turn the piece on end. That way I can run it down there because on the sides, it's just going to want to run off. You can build it up pretty easily on the side, but it's a lot easier just laying down, just like a weld is. See it? See how it's, there we go. Now what you want to do is make sure you don't put your flame directly on the stick because it'll just break. You want the piece hot and then you just want the stick to touch the piece. So, like I said, when this stuff is done, it sands and drills like, I mean, it's the same property as aluminum essentially. Check it out. After grinding, you can't even tell where the joint was. It just fills in just like a solid chunk of aluminum. So, love it. I still gotta do a little bit more on the side. I'm gonna finish up doing this, and then tomorrow we will bolt this all up, and we should be done under the hood. Good news, got both of the oil lines ran. Everything is good. They look good. They actually fit. Everything is good. I was going to jump on the rear floor section. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I just went through all the footage. This video is already pretty damn long from all the stuff I've had to do. So I only have one more thing that needs done under the hood, and that is my turbo piping needs final welded. This is the original turbo piping I did, not the one that goes out the fender that we did earlier. There's a couple welds on it. They were just tack welded because I was still fitting stuff. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull all that apart, get it fully welded, grinded, and then I will be 100% done under the hood, you know, which is badass. I mean, I won't have to mess with anything else. We can jump into the next episode, start getting our fuel situated, our brake line situated, and then also the rear floor. And hopefully by then I'll be able to actually start it and let it run with, you know, a gallon of fuel so it can sit there and idle for longer than a minute. And I won't have to sit there and keep feeding it with my starting fluid. So let's yank this turbo out, or this turbo piping out, go ahead and get it welded, and we will call this an episode. I just went through my footage and it looks like I got like at least 35 minutes, 40 minutes already, which is way too much, really, but whatever. All right, let's go. So, I found out that past Casey screwed over current Casey, which is what he likes to do a lot, and a couple of my exhaust, the exhaust flange that goes to the manifold, apparently when I put the manifold back on, it wasn't on right. I thought it was, it looked kind of close, but the bolts weren't in. That ended up being a 3-hour deal. It was just in a bind, had to bend it, had to cut it, got the manifold finally bolted back in, and then it didn't bolt to the other side like it was supposed to. So basically I just spent 3 hours kind of redoing half of my exhaust on the bottom. It's a lot cleaner now, it looks a lot better, and it's completely welded, it's all completely bolted. There isn't like, you know, one little thing that still needs done. It's all gonna be done under the hood now, which is great, other than the coolant tank, but I'm gonna order one. The stock one doesn't look like it's gonna go up in there very well. So I'm gonna order a coolant tank, and we're gonna wrap these pipes now, and I'm done today. I'm gonna bolt this up, and then we're finished. Let me show you how to do an exhaust wrap real quick. Okay, so I have determined this exhaust should not have to come off again, and I've been wanting to exhaust wrap it. It actually came with exhaust wrap from the kit, but just in case you guys don't know, the way to install this is actually soak it in water for a while, and then when you put it on, when it dries, it'll pull itself even tighter. So that's a dirty bucket of water. Ugh. We're gonna let that soak for a little bit while we're finishing up this welding and grinding, and then we'll wrap it up. Go ahead and take it out now. Oh yeah, that was some dirty water. Now, my only problem I'm gonna have with this pipe is this pipe goes into 3 because we have our exhaust cut out. So it's gonna kind of be tricky. I'm gonna wrap it here, and then when I get to here, I'm gonna try to do it in one piece. I don't even know if I can. I might have to cut it, zip tie it, and then run another piece on it, but we're gonna see. But basically all you do whenever you're wrapping this, you really want to pull it tight because you don't want any, you know, wrinkles and shit in it. 1, it looks bad when you do that. 2, it obviously won't work as good. If it's holding onto the pipe, it really actually reduces quite a bit of heat. So I'm gonna time lapse it because it's gonna take me way too long to do it live. Check it out. Came out pretty good. I got one little spot right there I don't love, but considering it's 3, I don't hate it. Sweet. I don't know if I have enough, but I'm gonna try and wrap the one that goes out to the fender. If I can't do the whole thing, I need to do the section that's by the firewall because I don't want my firewall to get too hot. So let's do that real quick. We are 100% done under the hood, baby. I ended up having just enough wrap to get that spot away from there. It's still a little close here, but I think I'll be all right. If I end up driving it, it seems like it needs more, I'll order a longer wrap. But super happy to have all that wrapped up and looking good. We have all of our oil lines done. I am so excited. Boost gauge, wastegate, everything is done. Ordered a generic coolant tank. It'll be here next week. Ordered a line for one of my hoses because I want to have a 90 on it instead of have it going straight in. But yeah, super happy. We are going to tackle the rear of this shit on the next episode. But I am done. I put entirely too many hours in this damn car this week. And oh, it's New Year's. Is it where's my phone? Hold on. Oh, it's only 10:30, but yeah, in an hour and a half, I'll give you a big kiss. Mwah! Happy New Year's, baby. Love you. Also, fun fact, this is the dirtiest the shop has ever been, but I just kept crawling under there and messing with more stuff, so I'm going to spend probably a whole day cleaning up this place. Oh, I'm also going to do a video
on the 55. I have a new intake manifold coming for it, but I keep getting people asking questions about it. And one of the videos I did on it, the complete build, beginning to end, it's blown up right now. It's got like 130,000 views or something crazy. So there's a lot of interest in that, even though it's like a 6-month-old video, which is weird. But we're going to end up pulling this out, doing some work on it, and doing another video on it, and then shipping her off to the owner. So thank you guys very much for watching. The heater just quit working, so I don't know if you can catch it on camera or not, but it is cold as balls in here. So we're gonna make this really quick. I'm very excited. I got all the stuff done under the hood, and I mean, that means everything. Every nut and bolt, little bullshit. I still have the kind of lights and stuff to do, but I mean, I don't have any exhaust work. I don't have any engine work. I don't have any intake, nothing. Everything is done so we can start focusing on other stuff. I wanna get the rear floor done. I probably said that 5 times in this. I want to get that rear floor started, get it done so we can start getting some fuel on it so that hopefully when our drive shaft comes in next week or the week after, we can throw it in and take it for a spin. So stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff at the end of videos, and check out some more of my other videos. Peace! Love ya!
I've really been addicted to you. All of my attention I've been